Welcome to the Breathe Believe podcast show where I am your host, Bree. And I am so excited to talk to you all the way across the world. I'm actually in Bali, Indonesia right now. And let me tell you, my life before getting here was the hardest trek I imagine that like any of my ancestors have probably ever had to have walked through. So you probably can relate to having really hard trials. And so today, I really want to talk about the trial of hunger. And the more that I explore this spiritual truth, the more that I know it will resonate with you as well, because this is a concept that humanity is experiencing, not just one individual or another based on circumstance. So your insatiable hunger is a sign that you are avoiding the void within you. So before becoming awakened, before becoming conscious of my behavior and the way that I was operating, there was this hunger. And it wasn't like the hunger I'm talking on a physical level, although that does happen. Hunger on all levels is this desire to accumulate things and wealth and people and experiences to fill that which we feel is empty within. And so the illusion that's created in this 3D reality, this world, is that you become to feel more whole. The idea is that you will become more whole as you attain these measurements and aspects outside of yourself. So we're conditioned to believe that the more material wealth we gain, the more valuable we are as a society or human. The more fill in the blank that you get and receive will just add and prove value to you. What you don't know is that chasing those things, they're not wrong. It's not wrong to desire. The desire itself is not wrong. It's the motivation behind the desire. So you are chasing an external reality, hoping to fill this space. So let me come down to really simple words: sex, food, drugs, parties, escapism, numb, avoid. Anything that you can do temporarily to increase the serotonin that you deeply, deeply lack inside. I coach women who also have severe body image issues, who also struggle with body in general, because when you're at this level hungry and depleted on a mental, physical, spiritual level, on all levels, then it would make sense that you're turning to food as the thing to make you whole. And I can speak from experience because I used to binge eat all of the time. And so there's this psychological damage when, on one hand, you want to create this amazing, gorgeous body that's like freaking powerful and healthy and lean and immaculate and powerful. And behind that is this nasty hunger that wants you to feel full. And so the two desires are competing. And so you use food to fill yourself because it's providing this temporary Band-Aid for what you feel inside, which is emptiness. And when you do that, you go and you self-sabotage and you shame yourself because you know that you shouldn't be doing that, on one hand, because over here you said you wanted that powerful, lean, healthy body. And on another hand, on a different level, on the emotional and spiritual plane, you're deeply unfulfilled. And so that unfulfillment, we have to first decide what that word has meaning of in our lives. So unfulfillment, when I say that word, could mean a lot of things for a lot of people. I know that it resonates with a lot of people to say that I'm unfulfilled in my job or I'm unfulfilled in my career, because we recognize that a lot of times we do things because we believe that we have to in order to survive our livelihood. So unfulfillment on a spiritual level is just denying your heart's desires. It's denying the inner child that wants to play and create and be silly and not be so grown up and so serious. And on the emotional plane, it's that self-acceptance and giving yourself the self-love that you so deeply crave. So hunger is a shadow that we're living in as a collective, as a society, as a whole, because the more hungry that we are, the more ways that we get up and we use that energy of feeling depleted or unfulfilled, not satisfied, to go fix it temporarily, to find out that you are still just as empty as when you started before. And so when you're hungry and you're going after the things that don't satisfy that hunger, you realize that you're in a nasty cycle that's inevitable until you become aware or awake or conscious enough to understand the motivating drivers of your behavior. If you start with desire and you start with self-love and you learn to fill yourself up from within, then you no longer have this captivity to an illusion on the outside world. So spirituality and the 3D world, this physical realm that we're in, they're not separate. They're actually very intact. So you don't have to be religious. You don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to believe any of those things. The fact is just the fact. And if you're in this cycle, what I can tell you is that the solution to that shadow is really simple. It's so simple that you'll deny it, because what you're seeking for, your ego, your mind, will almost immediately deny it. But your hunger and your seeking in this desire to be full is your own self-love. And until you find that happiness within, you will constantly sacrifice your internal world for the external gain, if that makes any sense. But what I want you to start practicing is the real self deep love that comes when you're able to connect back to your heart. I think a really good point to mention here is that when you're hungry, you will do anything to, like I said, to feel that. And so in my own journey, that came through multiple things. And like I said, it's not just sex and drugs and partying and this negative aspect, but it can also be what you think is healthy too. So pulling in partners to make you feel whole, pulling in different identities to make you feel whole, again, because your hunger is filling half. And eventually you'll run into the brick wall that helps you recognize no thing outside of you is able to fill that special void except for you. So the void was never meant to be escaped. You just haven't been taught how to fill it. So for the woman who shames herself for overeating, or hell, even the man who is using substances or anything to get a dopamine high or a serotonin hit, what you're actually looking for is the self-acceptance and self-love that never leaves. When you start from that foundation, there is nothing that is taken from you. So you're coming from a full cup where you're attracting versus where you're empty and you're hungry and you're searching and you're seeking and it can't be fulfilled. And so that nasty cycle is perpetuating the lives of so many people who don't even know that they're in the shadow. And so I'm dedicating my entire life to that work because the results are transformational when you really, really start to work at this and realize it's not work. Realizing that half of the journey is just being okay with where you're at and not always feeling the high. You're not always looking for the high because just being is enough. And so the hunger on a spiritual level is going to require that you connect back to your heart. And ironically, when you do that, it's connecting to the emotional plane because now your heart is recognized. It is loved. It is full. It is all of the things you think someone or something outside of you is going to do for you. And so you don't recognize that you have the ability to claim what has been yours the whole time. Again, the illusion is because you don't see it. You don't think it's real. So to you, this might just be the stage where this is just a concept and it makes no sense to you. But to the woman or to the person that has gone through life long enough in trials and in this masculine energy of forcing and proving and still being unfulfilled and deeply, deeply separated from something, that person knows that source is their only way to actually be fulfilled. Here's the beauty. It's so easy. It requires your daily commitment to it. It just requires your willingness to see it in a different light and to stop, to just give up the weapons and the tools and the defenses that you've created in your mind on why you're not lovable, why you're not worthy, why you're not deserving, and put down the idea that you have to strive for the presence of the love that you can just give yourself. I think it's also really normalized to hate yourself, to somehow overcome your own animosity towards yourself and somehow get a badge of honor for doing that. And that idea needs to go. Because when you're at peace with yourself, it radiates out. Here's the irony. When you love yourself at that level, you're no longer hunger. Can I tell you the light of what hunger is? If you're not in the shadow, you're in the light. If you're in the light, you're at a higher frequency. At a higher frequency, your heart's desires are being manifested because it's coming to you. So the flip of chasing and searching and seeking and being pissed off is feeling fulfilled, is feeling at ease, is feeling loved, and is being attracted all things that it deserves at its highest light. So the light of hunger is adventure. Because when your heart is open and it no longer uses defenses and mechanisms to keep love out, here's the fun part. It's the adventure that leads you to the next source of your most exciting journey. So getting to Bali was just one ways that manifested for me. I was in so much addiction to the suffering of my past circumstances. I was so addicted to being victimized by the men who broke my heart. I was victimized to feeling like I wasn't enough because a second divorce happened after I was so sure that that was the life path I was supposed to be on. I was feeling victimized because I had built an entire career around sales and communications, and I was so damn good at it. And after 8 to 10 years having to leave that and giving up my home and feeling victimized by why the hell go build something if it's all going to wash, in the shore anyways. Here is the truth about that. When building something on the foundation that you are incomplete and not full and you're hungry for, you'll pull in anything, right? Here's the problem with pulling in anything is it doesn't create a sustainable foundation. So then when it is no longer there, you're kind of angry at the world and starting to believe that God doesn't really exist, because why would he do that to you? Again, victim mentality. Why would a God that loves you punish you? And I was angry because I was doing all of the right things. I was loyal, I was committed, I was honest, I was all of the things I thought I should be to get the life I wanted. But when those things actually washed away, when the career was gone and the husband was gone and the home was gone and the friends were gone and the relationships were gone, I had nothing. And once that foundation that I thought was real was swept away, literally every identity attachment I could have possibly had washed away, it gave a gaping space within me so large that nothing could fill it. And I only had one option: to fill it with my own love first, so that when I did create the next foundation, I could be sure that I was being navigated through the adventure of my heart, knowing that it was my truth and not coming from a place of I'm half a person and feeling incomplete and then just pulling in anything to help me avoid my own, what's the word? Presence. That's the word, presence. When you are unable to sit in your own presence, that is a sign that you are uncomfortable with the void, with feeling, with the space within your chest. And when you start to commit to yourself on a whole nother level, that you're done self-sabotaging, you're done seeking, you're done chasing, you're done living in the illusion that you're not connected to divinity, then your entire life will change. So after allowing that space that I had to be created and full of my own acceptance, my own love, at the cost of everything outside of me, including family, including people that I deeply wanted respect from, at that level, when I was willing to love me no matter what and follow my heart no matter what, it gave a sense of self-esteem that no external validation can give. And so the reward for following your heart is extreme, and it is huge, and it leads to adventure, which is what you ironically have always wanted. You just believed it had to be hard because you started with hunger. So when you come from this place, you don't desire to binge eat and trash your body because you're not hungry. You're just not hungry anymore. And when you're not hungry anymore, you're full. And when you're full of love, your body heals fast. And when your body heals fast, you start to have a new connection and a new relationship with it. And when you're coming from this place of feeling full, you no longer desire to hang out with people that don't wish you the highest, best luck. You don't desire to go use drugs and substances and sex to get the next hit because you're connected back to what actually electrifies you. And the last thought I'll leave you with, some pretty deep things coming out of me, is that what you're actually missing, what you feel is missing, it's an illusion, but what you feel the problem is separation. So our minds are really good at creating I stories, like I this, I that, I this, I that, and your I identity in your mind separates you from everything that already is. So when you believe that you're separated from divine love, from your connected heart, from the source that created you, from God, when your belief is separation and that you're not connected, it would make sense that you would do anything and everything to find that connection again, but you can't build real connections unless you're connected first. And take it from me, you don't have to get divorced twice and go experience trauma over and over to realize that the trauma you're repeatedly participating in is unconscious. It's just unconscious. And the way to bring that forward is really simple. You don't need to go down a dark, deep rabbit hole. You just need to be mindful that your biggest key to divorcing shame and hunger is your reconnection. It is your unconditional love for yourself. Shame doesn't serve you. Suffering doesn't serve you. And when you follow the adventure, oh man, be ready. Oh boy. Because right now you don't have the tolerance or the capacity to receive all of the things you say that you're ready for. Right? And so that's why coaching is so important, because it gives an outside perspective and lens from someone who isn't in the drama, who isn't in like all of the feelings and the beliefs and the chains that you're wrapped in, that you created unknowingly. That coach is there to help you and to guide you back into following the path that doesn't require such hardship, right? And so I'm really passionate about guiding you back to this place, because once you do that, you no longer need me or the coach or the guide or the person or the course, because you've got an inner guide that is constantly guiding you to the next best thing, the next best adventure, the thing that's going to bring you actual joy, instead of leading you down a rabbit hole of perpetual hurt and painful experiences because you're so damn hungry. So if you're hungry, just think, what do I really want? And then under that thing, go another level deeper. But what do I actually really want from that? And then go another level deeper. What do I actually want from that, right? So for the woman who's manifesting a soulmate or a healthy body, yeah, you're going to tell me consciously, I really, really want to lose weight. But what's under that? I really, really, really want to feel good. Okay, what's under that? I really, really, really want to love myself. I really want to feel loved. Because I believe that when I lose the weight, I'll feel good. And I believe when I feel good, then I'll be worthy of my own acceptance. When I'm worthy of my own acceptance, I am loved. And so I'm going to give you the key formula in this podcast that says screw steps 3 through 5 and start at 1 instead of 5 and attacking your body or not having the partner or blaming the thing, and go under all of that and get to the root cause, because damn it, if you're not starting at the root, you're dealing with the same tree and you're going to get the same results, and it's going to keep giving you the same fruit. If you want a different fruit, we have to plant a different tree, and we have to start from within. And that's the only way that it's going to manifest in the real world, is that you have to be willing to go inside and face the fact that up until now, you have felt separated, you have felt empty, you have felt lonely, and you are willing to spend as much time with yourself as humanly possible to get to a place where you feel good. So when I was in a state of that victim mentality, it was really easy for me to see that my life up until now had been extremely hard and extremely painful. And that was okay. I'm not saying to dismiss that you've had challenges up until now. Welcome to the human journey. I am saying that it is your choice to identify with that reality or to be so attached to your future that your past starts to lose its grip on you. So before coming to Bali, Indonesia, I had this deep, deep desire to travel the world and to be a freelancer and a writer and a coach and help empower women and help them love themselves and boost their self-esteem and to give them the energy and the love that I feel every single day. I wanted other women to experience what I experience now every single day. Before that, I was so addicted to my job and just wrapped up in all of these other beliefs. So the transformation that came from filling my own heart is this. I wanted to go to Bali, Indonesia, and even some of my own family was like, yeah, okay, Brie, like you're just going to leave little Mormon Utah villa or Utah town and you're going to just go across the world, like, okay, sarcastically. And they mean well, but when people don't understand, they can only relate at the level that they can report. And even then, half of their comments were like, none of us have experienced that, so you're not going to, and how are you going to do that? They just didn't understand. But my heart was set on its desire to get to where it was going, even if it didn't make logical sense to them or to my brain, because I had decided to love me no matter what. Like, no matter what. I don't care if my friend's off of me. I don't care if my boss thinks I'm freaking crazy for quitting my 8-year career when I'm at the top of my pinnacle just to go right behind my laptop. Like, to him, that's freaking crazy. To me, it fires me up. So when committing to that decision, I did it. And it took however long it took, didn't matter. I got here in less than a year, and my entire reality shifted. Not because I was addicted to pulling anything and everything in, but because I was doing the opposite. I was so full of my own self-love. I was not willing to tolerate anyone's judgments or perceptions of me. It didn't matter. It just didn't matter. It was like freedom, right? And so I share that with you to show you that it might feel really scary to face your hunger, to face your addictiveness to getting the next high, to realize that's not sustainable, to realize it doesn't actually bring you what you actually want on a soul level, but to show you that the law of manifestation and the law of assumption and all of these laws, they can only be understood after the commitment that you have to yourself. Because I won't get into that now, actually, but you just have to commit to yourself. So I leave you with the reminder that your divinity is now, it's not later, that your heaven on earth can be created now. And if you think I'm blowing smoke up your butt, I get it. I was you with my arms crossed. I know what an attitude looks like when someone's speaking truth to you that seems so impossible. And I know that it's going to rub you wrong, especially when you're trapped in this struggle bus, because it somehow is easier for someone else. But for the heart that's already open to this podcast, you're going to let it sink in. And I can guarantee that within a matter of weeks, your entire life will start to slowly shift. And my favorite reminder is that you're one shift away from going a new direction. You don't need to look at this like a 360-degree angle. You just need a minor shift in the right degree, and you are already on a different path than you had been walking. So I am encouraging you to go face that truth. I'm really excited. I am available to helping clients one-on-one. I have a limited space, but my intention is to create a 3-month container where you have the support so those nasty dark lies don't creep in. Someone who can hold you in the light of who you are, to hold you to the potential when you can't hold yourself there. And I invite you to come into my space and let's make sure we're a good fit to work together. I recently did change my website, so no longer go to the ones in previous episodes. And I invite you to go to my Instagram account and we'll connect there as well. So my website is Be You, Be Authentic, and Believe. Be You, Be Authentic, Believe.com. And I will leave a link to my Instagram handle below. If you are a woman who is struggling with any sort of hunger or body image issues, really what I coach is your self-worth, because you don't know what that actually is. And that is the root, right? We talk about the root. That is the root of all of the problems that you think you have. So if you think that we are supposed to work together and feel inspired to reach out, do that now. And I hope you have an incredible rest of your week. So until we talk again, have a good one.